Before we get into this, a quick disclaimer. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. We are not doctors, and nothing here is medical advice. Bromantane is not FDA approved outside of Russia, it's banned in competitive sports, and its long-term safety in healthy people is not well studied. If you're considering taking any new drug, supplement, or nootropic, talk to a qualified medical professional. We do not encourage sourcing unregulated compounds online. With that said, let's explore what Bromantane is, how it works, and why it's become a cult compound in the biohacker world. Imagine a drug that can make you feel more alert without the jitters of caffeine, and ease performance anxiety at the same time. Too good to be true? That's the paradox of Bromantane. It's a Soviet-era drug with a history in both medicine and doping scandals. Welcome to Biohack Stack, the channel where we dig into experimental compounds, off-label therapeutics, and the frontier of human performance. Our mission is simple: to explore the science, the risks, and the hype behind substances that claim to push human limits. We don't promote use, but we do believe knowledge is power. So if you're curious about what's possible, you're in the right place. Bromantane has one of those backstories that sounds straight out of a Cold War sci-fi novel. Picture this. It's the 1980s in the Soviet Union, and scientists are cooking up a new kind of performance booster. It's not steroids, not caffeine, it's something weirder. They call it an actoprotector, which is just a fancy way of saying synthetic adaptogen. Translation: a lab-made super supplement to keep soldiers and athletes grinding through heat, exhaustion, or even thin mountain air. Basically, Soviet-grade cheat codes for the human body. Unlike the jitters from coffee or the chaos of amphetamines, Bromantane takes a calmer approach. It encourages your brain to make more dopamine, delivering steady, sustained energy. Think less of a sprint and more of a marathon. Bromantane's big debut wasn't in a lab. It was at the 1996 Atlanta Olympics, when athletes started popping positive for it. Cue the scandal, cue the headlines, and pretty soon the World Anti-Doping Agency slapped it on the ban list. And yep, it's still sitting there today, kinda like the kid who got caught cheating on a test and can't come back to class. So what does it actually feel like? Both users and research point to some unusual effects. First up, endurance, both for the body and the brain. Bromantane ramps up the enzymes that help your brain make dopamine, but instead of dumping it all at once like a sugar rush, it slowly cranks up your baseline. Think of it as upgrading your motivation meter so you can keep going longer without the boom and bust cycle of classic stimulants. Second, less performance anxiety. Strangely enough, while it's cranking up dopamine, Bromantane also chills you out. Scientists think it tweaks serotonin and smooths out your brainwaves, like hitting the noise-canceling button inside your own head. This effect was demonstrated in EEG studies, where Bromantane was observed to turn up alpha waves. This is the brain's sweet spot for calm focus. It's that zone where you think you're alert and locked in, but not wound up like you just mainlined 5 energy drinks. Third, smoother recovery from stress and fatigue. Back in Russian clinical studies, Bromantane actually helped people with chronic fatigue bounce back faster. The thinking is, it beefs up your stress resilience pathways. So instead of crashing after overwork, sickness, or tough conditions, your body resets, kinda like hitting the respawn button in a video game. Think quicker recovery, stronger comeback. Now put it all together. Dopamine boost, serotonin balance, brainwaves on cruise control. And you start to see why people say Bromantane is both energizing and calming. It's like having your morning coffee and your evening chamomile tea at the same time, without the whiplash. So how are people using Bromantane today? In the biohacker community, it's less about chasing a high and more about making everyday life run just a little bit smoother. Some people will pop Bromantane to power through marathon workdays without guzzling a gallon of coffee. Others take it before big presentations or social events. They swear it keeps them sharp while dialing down the jitters. They say it's kind of like having focus fuel and chill pills combined into one drug. Outside the world of drug tests, athletes say it helps them bounce back from brutal training or burnout. Some even use it after being knocked flat by an illness. They say it's like a fast-track ticket back to feeling human again. And since it lasts most of the day, some see it as a smoother swap for crash and burn stimulants. Less roller coaster, more steady cruise, with focus that doesn't fry your nerves. For biohackers chasing performance and quality of life, that blend of endurance plus reduced anxiety is what makes Bromantane so appealing. Of course, there are real risks. Bromantane is only licensed in Russia, meaning products bought online can have questionable purity. Side effects? They're usually mild but worth knowing. Some people report headaches or feeling wired if they take too much. Others mention sleep getting weird if they dose too late in the day. Think tossing and turning instead of smooth alpha wave dreams. And since it's a banned substance in sports, getting caught with it in competition could bent you faster than a pulled hamstring. So yeah, Bromantane's a weird hybrid. It's part stimulant, part adaptogen, and part band booster. Unlike a lot of fringe stuff, it actually has clinical trials to back it up. But the unknowns, they're just as big as the hype. So here's the real question. Would you try a calm stimulant that promises steady energy without the nerves? Or does the sketchy lack of Western research make it a hard pass? Drop your take in the comments. If you enjoyed this dive into Bromantane, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the frontier of human performance.